Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by the amazing folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's Alzheimer's, arts, everything in between. They do a great job. We are so honored to have in the studio with us today Dr. Sunny Cooke. She's the superintendent president of MiraCosta College. How you doing, Sunny?
I'm doing great.
We love it when we have our presidents of the community colleges on the show. The content, you could be on every single day for the next 15 years and only hit 1/10 of what you folks do. But I really appreciate you coming on. And I'm honored to have as my guest co-host, Om Cabra, is a high school student. What year are you in, Om?
I'm in 11th grade.
Good, very good. So this is your second foray as a co-host. How'd it go the first time?
It was so awesome. I love these microphones and I love the podcast that you're doing, Drew.
You did a great job. I think you got a question right out of the gate for Sunny.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, what is the mission of your organization?
Yeah, I think to put it briefly, we really create opportunities for students in our community to follow their dreams, which is pursue their educational, personal, and career goals. And we are open to everyone. So we accept 100% of the students that choose or want to come to college. And we describe college very broadly. So we have technical skills, we have non-credit training, English as a second language, all the way up to a certificate, an associate's degree, and a bachelor's degree.
You know, it's something I mentioned. We were talking earlier. I believe your husband went to Santa Monica College.
That's right.
As did I, but I was about 105 years older than he is. So it was before he did that. But, you know, you weren't a product of the community colleges, were you?
No, I have lived in a number of different places in the United States, including Missouri and Pennsylvania. And the concept of a community college isn't quite the same as it is in California. So before I got my first job in a community college as a faculty member, I had never even set foot on a community college, and I didn't know what they were. I didn't understand the mission. So I was offered a faculty position, and I immediately fell in love with the mission and the fact that we serve everyone, the fact that we meet students where they are, and that we help them pursue whatever they've defined as their goal.
Right. Then did you start, and we were talking about your background in science, correct?
Correct.
Were you a science teacher at the community college?
I was. I taught biology and biochemistry and biotechnology.
Oh, that's just fascinating. So I know here you are, now president, superintendent at MiraCosta College, a beautiful campus. If anybody hasn't been to that area, if you put MiraCosta University on it, they would actually think it's a university. What's your enrollment?
We are at about 28,000 students, and we have 4 different sites. So you're talking probably about our largest campus in Oceanside.
Right.
We have one in Cardiff, and we have another in Carlsbad, which does technical skills, and then 2 in Oceanside.
Right, exactly. When did you become superintendent president?
January of 2015.
Okay, good. Sure. Yeah, congratulations for your long run doing that. Where were you before?
I spent 8 years being president at Grossmont College, and so 19 years overall as a president in San Diego County. And I've seen every one of the other community college presidents and university presidents be hired since then.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Sunny, we've been honored to have Greg Smith on the show. Greg is the chancellor of the San Diego Community College District, as you know. Ashanti Hands, who's the president of Mesa College, and Wes Lumberg recently was on Miramar College as well. And there is a special vibe at the community colleges. Have you ever been on campus, a community college campus?
So I have. I've seen a campus, and I'm also taking a college course at MiraCosta College. I think I'm taking Design 108.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
and it's
Wonderful.
amazing. I think I'm taking it, and I'm in Roman architecture right now, I believe.
Wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit about dual enrollment and how important that is.
Mm-hmm. Our mission with dual enrollment is really to ensure that anybody that wants to take a college course is able to do that while they're in college. While they're in high school, and it's free to them. So it is a way to give confidence to students that want to try college, and to give them an opportunity to succeed in college before they've even graduated from high school. And I will tell you, our mission is to open it to everybody, right? It's not an AP course where you are just, dealing with the top end of the high school classes. It's open to anybody. And I will say that our students do remarkably well in dual enrollment. It's a faster pace than AP. So you're learning a college class at the same pace as you would. In AP courses, it's spread out over a full year, what you might do in a semester at a college. So highly recommend the opportunities. And most all of our community colleges in San Diego do offer dual enrollment.
Yeah. Now, are you doing it on campus at the community college?
So no, I'm doing it online, and and even just watching the videos are so helpful, and it's so fascinating to learn.
And just think about it. Matter of fact, I'm sure there was no dual enrollment when I was going to high school. Matter of fact, it was barely running water, for God's sake, in that aspect of it. But think about it. So here you are, you're getting your high school degree, and you can, depending on how you do it, can leave high school with an AA degree.
Correct.
That is unbelievable. So now here you are, 18 years old, and you're literally starting college at your junior year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the ways to certainly cut your college university bills in half, because you would have done half of your university degree for free in dual enrollment. The other way is to be part of the MiraCosta Promise. So if you are a full-time student at MiraCosta College, you can go for free for 2 years, and again, transfer to any university of your choice and cut your bills in half, literally.
So is the MiraCosta Promise for any student, or you have to hit certain socioeconomic levels?
It's for any student that is willing to go full time. Yep. No age limit, anything like that.
Unbelievable. So, and then once you finish up, you get an AA degree when you're in the MiraCosta, or not necessarily?
You can get an AA degree. We also offer one bachelor's degree in biomanufacturing as well.
Right.
Yep.
So how many of the folks that go to MiraCosta and do the MiraCosta Promise, they'll go to a 4-year school? What's the acceptance rate? Like 100%?
We are really proud at MiraCosta that we have the highest transfer rates in Southern California. So of all the 56 community colleges in California, we have the highest transfer rates, particular to UC. So if you apply from MiraCosta to UC, you have an 84% chance of getting into University of California school. And that is way better than as a high school student or transfer from many other community colleges.
Yeah. Our senior executive producer over here, Brandon Joe, who just graduated from UCSD,
Yay.
is nodding his head forcefully on that aspect of it. And that's so true. We are chatting with Dr. Sunny Cooke. She's the superintendent president of MiraCosta College. I'm Drew Schlosberg. Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, been our absolutely exceptional sponsor, joined by my co-host, Om Cabra. He's a high school student. Om, you got another question for our good friend, Sunny Cooke?
What are the 3 topics that you would like to talk about during this interview?
So you got, you talked about the overall, what's futures thinking? What is that about?
We at MiraCosta have been honing our futures thinking abilities for about 6 years now. So right before COVID, and it's forcing us to learn how to spot signals further into the future. So you're looking 10, 15 years out, spotting signals, and we're working to an idealized future, which is a just, equitable, and sustainable future. And so as you spotlight what new things are coming at you, gives us a longer ramp to try to build towards the future that we're trying to create, so that the decisions we're making today are leading towards the future that we prefer and we're hoping to create within our community.
Right. So this leads me to something that, and I did not tee up Dr. Cooke to say this over here, but I've been honored to be involved in the Classroom of the Future Foundation since its inception in 1997. And that's our whole focus. We work with the County Office of Education in all 43 school districts. What does the future of education look like? What are the new ways of teaching with a focus on college and careers? So I'm going to personally invite you and your colleagues to our 9th annual College and Career Summit. It'll be on February 26th at National University, a real good partner of ours down the road. But I want to talk about that aspect of it that you folks, and I don't want my 4-year school friends to get irritated at me. Just had a dilatory on the show where you're sitting right there. But the community colleges are absolutely laser beamed on careers and focus on careers. Talk about that.
I think that is what we are known for, right? Being very connected to the economy and the industry, the businesses in our community, and helping connect people and individual opportunity with growth and, expansion and betterment of our business and industry and our economy. And so we do that remarkably well by working very closely with industry partners. But I would say the future of education is going to look very different than it looks right now and than it has traditionally in higher ed. I think our students are going to come to us wanting to solve problems and kind of defining their major and their general education in consultation with the problems that they want to address in the world and the solutions that they want to provide. And that is very different than here we've got 150 majors for you, choose a course. It's more of a co-creation of learning and knowledge with our students. And I think community colleges are innovative enough to be ahead of that curve.
Well, innovative and absolutely nimble enough to do it. Let me ask you this just on what Dr. Cooke said. Here they are teeing it up for heaven forbid what the student wants to look at, right, and what they want to do. Do you buy into that?
I mean, my personal opinion, of course I do, because I think there's a lot of authority. I mean, in my opinion, a lot of authority when it comes to high school. And I think having that kind of more student run in college or in community college is perfect. And I believe in that full-heartedly.
Yeah, I know you work very, very closely with whether it's local chambers in your area, Oceanside Chamber or Vista Chamber, wherever the case may be in that area. The businesses that certainly are on the top of their game, they better be on top of their game with how things are shifting. One of the favorite questions we like to ask our presidents and leaders and all that. As you mentioned, President Neufeld from Cal State San Marcos, just an absolute delight for 75 different reasons. Talk about the importance of social mobility when it comes to a student.
Yeah, that's really all about what we focus on is taking people from where they are to whatever endpoint they want to meet. And certainly we know 90% of our graduates want to live and thrive and work in the local community. So we want to make sure that they have opportunities and they have the skills and they have the background to be able to do that and that they're able to thrive in the community, which means that, they can make a living wage that is family sustaining. And so we measure that. We call those post-graduation outcomes at MiraCosta. So not only do we want to help students transfer, but we want them to get the job that they seek, and we want to see and we measure the wage gain that they make at the end of our educational journey and their ability to get a job and thrive. And so our bachelor's degree, those folks not only get a job in their region in biomanufacturing, but they're accelerating their pathway to supervisory positions and management positions much faster than they would if they took a traditional degree from another higher education institution. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, as you were talking about your programs, what is your definition of innovation?
It is really doing things differently to meet a need that may need to be addressed in a better way or that hasn't been addressed at all. And so I think coming out of COVID, we have really learned a lot in that process about individual learning, hybrid learning. We call it high flex learning. There's some 5 different modalities now that we offer to students. And 2/3 of our students are working multiple jobs sometimes, and they're going to school full time. And so helping them learn in a way that is best for them. If they're student parents or if they're taking care of their own parents, all of those are innovations that were really accelerated because we looked at what our students needed in probably one of the worst times of their lives, which was COVID, and then kind of expanded that to, and what do they need now to meet their needs, and how are we providing those opportunities and supports for them?
You're welcome back from break. I want to talk a little bit about that workforce in San Diego, how you work very closely with the workforce, whether it's the partnership or the EDC or the regional chamber and so forth. Always want to set some time aside. How can our listeners support what you folks are doing at MiraCosta College as well? And also want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges moving forward. When we continue our conversation with Dr. Sonny Cooke, Superintendent and President of MiraCosta College, joined by my co-host, Cabra, high school student. He's a junior, actually taking courses at MiraCosta College. We didn't know that until we started the podcast. And for our listeners, we'll be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by the amazing, fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 years plus of doing great things in the community. So honored to have in the studio with us today Dr. Sonny Cooke. She's the superintendent and president of MiraCosta College, joined by my veteran now co-host, Cabra, into his second routine here and doing a wonderful job. Right before break, Sonny, we were just talking about careers and jobs and all that business, and you guys are very mindful of the workforce and what are the careers going to look like. Back in the day, a career might have been around for a lifetime, it seems. These days, boy, you better be on top of your game, because something you thought you were going to be doing when you started college is not going to be there necessarily when you graduate. Talk about that.
Yeah, we obviously serve students that are looking for their first career, and then we are there for them as they're looking to reskill, come back, learn some new things, whether that's, technology skills. We have an AI program, a certificate and a degree. So we saw a lot of people come back and they have a computer science degree or they have a business degree, but they really want to learn how AI can be useful to them in their work. And, we offer, even for our companies, we offer specific designed and tailored training for what their employees may need to upskill and continue to move up the ladder, or to change to the different ways of business processes or technology changes that are happening in their world.
So much has been written about AI, how AI is used in the high schools. I'm going to ask Om a question on that in a few minutes here. And of course, obviously, how it's going to be impacted in the community colleges and in the four-year schools as well. There's been a lot in the news recently of companies that are reducing their workforce because of AI. That shouldn't be a surprise to certain people. But are the number of employees they're losing, are they going to be made up by what AI can bring us? I don't know. I know you guys talk about this all the time, especially among your community college superintendents and presidents. Talk about that.
I think that AI, we're all using it even now, right? Every time you do a Google search or every time that you're,
Right.
optimizing something, you're using AI chatbots and all of those kinds of things. So I will say it is sort of becoming ubiquitous. I think where we see our unique position as a community college is teaching people the human skills, the critical thinking skills that they need to use AI wisely. And I see real opportunity for our frontline, employees to use AI for those routine questions that are used asked every single day. They're kind of the routine things that are happening every single day so that they can be lifted up to the more human interactions that are required to support our students. And we've worked for a couple of years now on really helping our employees embrace AI and also question AI and use it in a way that we can be proud of, that aligns with our college's values and yet helps them to work smarter. I think we're all struggling with work-life balance and well-being. And so there are some ways that I think that can help us offload some of the routine things and make our jobs potentially more rewarding, more, engaging in many ways.
Right, without question. Om, do you use AI in your work as a high school student or just as pleasure?
Well, I would say both, because I do use AI in my work, and I don't use it in a way of just copy paste. I more use it as a tool. So I'm very dyslexic. I mean, when it comes to homework, at least, and when I write and when I spell stuff wrong, I would have to run it through ChatGPT or whatever. So when I do emails or send emails to colleagues or whatever, I copy and paste my entire email and put it in. So it's not just my schooling, it's not just my education, it's everything I do, right? I use it for helping me with my dyslexia. So I think there are benefits and there are downsides for sure.
You guys, and rightfully so, are so proud of the biomanufacturing that you are doing. You had mentioned that before. Of course, San Diego County is a perfect place for it as well. And you're going to finish up, whether you're doing your AA degree or 4-year degree at MiraCosta, and then step into a job. And you had something I think that's really important, Sonny, and that is a livable wage. We've seen people are pretty much, employed and then below poverty line, even though they're employed on that. The importance in San Diego is not the most inexpensive place to live, to say the least, in this. Your students must love what you're doing in biomanufacturing.
Yeah, we focus on areas where we have a workforce need, but we also want to focus where people can live and thrive in San Diego County. And so in the case of biomanufacturing, we had a longstanding biotech program and certificate program. This offered people the opportunity to get a degree, and our students that graduate through that program tell us they would not have a bachelor's degree if it were not for that program in their community. And the fact that it is the whole 4 years is $10,500. So affordable, high quality, relevant, gives them opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have. And again, accelerates their path through supervision and management up the career ladder, which then, of course, comes with more responsibility and comes with more higher wages as well.
Absolutely. Another question for Dr. Cooke.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what is the most significant challenges today that for those that you serve, essentially?
No question, for those we serve, our students, it is affordability. And so we, 10 years ago, we may not have offered the kinds of robust student support services that we do now. We have free food and food pantries and, healthy foods distribution every single week and month at our college. We offer, transportation support. We offer childcare support. We offer partnerships with our community that allow housing insecure students to also have a place to be so they can continue their studies. We open up our showers to students that may be experiencing homelessness. So we've got a full cadre of supports for our students who are lacking in basic needs. And that is, no doubt about it, affordability is the hardest thing for our students. And we try to minimize all the tuition costs through scholarships and all of that, and federal financial aid, state financial aid. But living in San Diego County is a challenge as you try to go to college.
Yeah, and it's really no different from, the students that are in K-12 that are facing food insecurity. We know our good friends at Mission Fed Credit Union are laser beam working with the Jacobs Cushman Food Bank. It's something that's near and dear to their heart. I think the entire pretty much employee base gets involved with the food bank and all this. 800,000 folks are food insecure in our region, which blows people away. 3.3 million people living in our county. And these students, when they're not in school, may not get their next meal until Monday. And of course, in the summer, it's a challenge as well. The same thing almost applied to the community colleges and the four-year schools. There's a lot of kids that are, considered homeless, of course, or they're couch surfing and so forth on this. And Brandon raised his hand on this thing, and especially food insecure. So that is just, spot on that. And as you know, how do you possibly focus on learning when you're hungry? Yeah. Or you're not sleeping, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm. And many of our students are working 3 jobs or more to try to make ends meet. And so finding time to study and focus, if you're hungry, if you're without a place to live, or if you are so busy trying to pay the bills that, it's very challenging.
Right. So listen, we talked about this before you got on, Sonny, that the community colleges in our region and in our state are really top shelf. Not anything really like it around the country, as simple as that, but a little prejudice to the ones here in Southern California and your colleagues that have been on the Spotlight Show, which we're forever grateful in this area. But what would you say differentiates MiraCosta College from some of the others? And that's not a knock on the other community colleges. They do great stuff. But what differentiates you folks?
I would say you can feel it the minute you walk onto our campus, and that is the culture of care that we have at MiraCosta that is very personalized to each student. So when you walk on that campus, you can tell that those people that are there to help you. And I hear from our community members all the time that students even stop and ask to, if they can be of service or of help. We, inculcate that in our students through our service learning program. We teach them that our state invests in you, our donors invest in you, and the way that you can repay some of that and pay it forward is through your volunteer service and your service to our nonprofits and small businesses in our community. And so it's just a part of our culture, and that you don't experience at other community colleges.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Our listeners have been hearing about this type of stuff from the Spotlight Show for now 20 years. What can we do to continue to help elevate what you do and what your wonderful staff does and faculty and the students?
I would say a couple of different things. One is, our MiraCosta Foundation is always raising funds for support of our students. Not just scholarships, but those basic needs that are so important. Emergency grants when something happens and it keeps them from completing a semester. So that's one way. Be a mentor, offer, talk to people that have aspirations about, hey, have you visited your local community college? We have welcome centers on every one of our campus. So you just walk into a building and we will answer your questions and help you get to where you want to be. And we're trained to do that. So encourage people to go. grow, become a mentor, consider having interns. We have funds to pay for students to work in your small business or your nonprofit or even your larger business. And then don't forget the MiraCosta College Foundation that raises funds to support students.
Everything's on the website?
Yes. Yep.
Very good. Sonny Cooke, this will not be the last time that we have you on. Would love to have you the next time, if you so desire, to bring in a faculty member and a student that is benefiting from all this, if you're interested.
Perfect. Will do.
Absolutely. Dr. Sonny Cooke, Superintendent and President of the MiraCosta College. Wonderful spotlight interview. I highly recommend you reach out to her and her team. They'd be happy to show you all the cool things they're doing at their college. Cabra, thank you very much for another fine job as co-host. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is awesome. I love doing this with you, Drew.
Good. Well, you're going to be doing it for a few more times today. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. In our 20th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. More than 6 decades of doing great things for people living in San Diego County. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.